How can I say, resurrection to our prophet Obadiah Ali. We celebrate his solar return, January 8th through the 13th. We usually have our Morris Ball during that time, but in March in Texas. But my solar return is the 19th of January, and I'll be having some brothers come out here. We're going to do some things. We're going to go to the Herd Museum. I'm going to do a live lecture to show you what it's all about, to show you the swastika. It's not nothing scary. I'm going to be doing this lecture from the Herd Museum, and then I'll probably go to the Catholic Church and go in the back and show y'all the real the Catholic Church have hidden, the symbols. I'm going to resurrect all this for you can see, because we got some people on the internet, men and women, that just goofballs because they don't know real history, and it's no disrespect. Now, I told you about the Arab. I told you that an ancient Arab is a colored person. I give you the history. I give you the scholarship. So we should not be confused over nothing what I'm saying. Here you got right here. An Arab, according to Vladimir Dale's 1863 dictionary, meant a black-skinned person. If a person get up here, no disrespect, the pale Arab talking that stuff, man, I don't have time for that. I'm gonna block you. Because I already lectured this on campus with my professors, and I'm not finna deal with nobody religious perspective. I ain't wasting my time on it. I'm just gonna block you real fast. And then I give you the history of Bertram Thomas. Bertram Thomas wrote a book called The Arab and Arabia Felix. This is Bertram Thomas' book right here, because like I said, I can't pull out my books because I just relocated and they in the storage. I'm gonna show Bertram Thomas how he dressed. This is Bertram Thomas, the European, the Albion, the Trailerdyke, that wrote about the ancient Arab. Here it go right here. Look what he dressed like. So anybody come with that cap, they might as well have a seat. They might as well have a seat. Period. We don't have time to be wasting with nobody trying to promulgate their dogma or their color perspective. We're going to sit that down real fast. And I'm Orthodox. I don't care about nobody religion. That ain't my concern. I'm here to teach, to show you what hasn't been seen or maybe has been seen. But people, what? Bury it and suppress it. I don't suppress wisdom out here. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm a student, I'm a scholar, I'm a master teacher. I'm your brother. If I teach Europeans and they pay me well, I jump on here on TikTok and stuff because I love to teach to my brothers and sisters. I get paid well in real life lecturing at college universities and the philosophical research societies and dealing with other masons and things that want me to teach. And they're not melanated. That's why I laugh at every so-called melanated person on here on TikTok that have these names behind them. I'm Bey this, or I'm Sheik this. Well, standing on your square, you're supposed to find a sheik, a map, and a guide, and use this social media to do that. If not, you're wasting your time. Because we're supposed to be a part of brotherhood. We are spiritual people, and we got to stop letting these people separate us. We must, or we'll never learn nothing from a true educational perspective. Everybody don't like to read all science. I read all science, Alex Crowley and all that, because they took our science and twisted it and made it perverted. Pascal Beverly Randolph, the Enochian tarot cards, all this stuff that I speak on, it's more science. And I remove the veil on dogma. I don't let nobody come with no fake stuff. I say, no, you're going to sit on your hands when you're dealing with me. Why? Because it's all our science. Everything Aleister Crowley wrote about, the greater ritual of the pentagram, it's more science. He just perverted it. It's just like those misnomer black ladies that's an Eastern Star, and they star turned sideways, but they won't tell you the truth because they don't know the truth. You know? All of the rituals, they just twist it and make it perverted. The Sephiroths, all this stuff is more science, just perverted. And if you don't know that, that's your fault, not mine. And you can't be mad at the person that's illuminated and consecrated that bring things back to you. There's nothing scary about this stuff. Nothing. And if you think that, shame on you. Just shame on you, my brothers and sisters. The Enochian magic of Dr. John D. I have everything. So when the spookism come, or when somebody come with crap, that TikTok stuff, nah, man. We're going to break it down. all the way down. We're going to break it down all the way down. You know? And so I just show people, when people be talking about this, I've lectured this on college campuses all through Arizona. I've lectured at Masonic houses. It's only one truth. It's only one science. So if we don't understand that, my brothers are lost due to a lack of knowledge, because and me and my dad just was talking about this. My dad is an elder getting ready to be 80 years old. Like, son, you my teacher. He was like, when I was young, we used to watch all those John Wayne movies, those cowboy movies, all that stuff. We used to see the Indianness, the pale face. You watch those movies of Egypt, it's all Europeans. You watch the movies of Muslims or Mohammedans, you see a whole bunch of pale Arabs. No disrespect. So we're gonna do some teaching. We're gonna walk through this, and I'm gonna share a couple pieces of literature. Y'all can ask me anything. I'm gonna speak on this, and I'm out of here. Get the likes up, man. We need to be viral. Get these likes all the way up. And if you don't follow me on YouTube, our Temple and School, Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, and I'm on YouTube with my name, Khary Ibna Hakim Goodman Bey. Help me get my YouTube up, because we can stop this. When people be begging people to do this and do that, I travel all over the world. I have a real library. I don't have to send you nowhere else to get no information. Zero. And I'll never send you in no burning house. Why? Because I already been through the fire. So we're going to talk about Muslims from Africa. And they reached the New World, the 6th century before Columbus. So let's talk about it. Remember the map of Mansa Musa? This map was written by an Italian, a European. Oh, and you see who we got on here? Mansa Musa. This is a real map. This is a map. I hope y'all know this. So let's talk about it. You can ask any schoolboy or girl in North America, and the chances are that they'll say Columbus discovered America. That's what they teach. They'll teach you that Columbus discovered America. Even your misnomer black teacher and preacher would teach that bull crap. Your mama might teach that bull crap right now. But let's deal with it. They would never give the date, October 11th, 1492. That's the date they give them. They give you that date like they know something. Not only did Christopher Columbus not discover any place or see the America shore, but also European historians who dominated the world scene have conveniently hidden the truth about the first contacts between the new and the old worlds. But I have scholars, European scholars, that told you about what they saw. Lewis and Clark, The Ancient and Modern Britons by David McRitchie, a plethora more. But to tell the world that the Muslims from Africa were the first to cross the Atlantic Ocean, disembark on solid soil, and live in the Caribbean islands and in South America would disturb the imperialist false sense of glory and superiority. Watch this. Much has been known about the explorer Columbus through the strenuous efforts of native people eager to tell their story 500 years after he washed up on the shores of San Salvador. It has become clear that Columbus stumbled upon not only so-called Indians, but Muslims as well. Muslims began traveling to the Caribbean 6 centuries before European contact. I told you about Ibn Battuta, and they try to say he wasn't black, but then they say he's from Morocco and was a Berber from North Africa. Duh, we be letting people draw a line down our back, trying to separate us. I don't care if you're from the North or the South, our blood the same. We gotta stop letting the enemy draw a line down our back. I'm done with that. I'm done with it, you know? Now watch, let's deal with it. But Muslims began traveling to the Caribbean 6 centuries before European contact was made, over 1,100 years. Columbus and early Spanish and Portuguese explorers were able to voyage across the Atlantic, a distance of 1,500 miles, due to Muslim geographical and navigational information and maps made by Muslim traders. Just like when I show you the Thomas Jefferson Quran. They tell you, they called you pirate, Berber, Corsica. Come on, man. You got to start listening. And in particular, al-Musadi's drawing in circa 1957 CE. Vasco da Gama consulted with Ahmad ibn Majid on the African western coast before setting out into the Atlantic. Ibn Majid, M-A-G-I-D, was the world's expert on navigation in the Indian Ocean. the Persian Gulf, the Red Sea, the Sea of Southern China, and the waters around West Indies. As early as 889 CE, a Muslim navigator, his name is Khashash ibn Sa'id ibn Aswad, from the Cordoba, Spain. Remember the Moors ruled Spain for 800 years, right? Well, what happened to them? You think they died? No, you looking at them. Crossed the Atlantic and returned with wonderful treasures. How do you think they were able to travel to different areas where it wasn't this type of weapon and this type of weapon, and you find people and bones and it had these things in it? Because we was on our boats and we traveled and we bartered. In February 999 CE, Ibn Farouk landed in Gondo, the Great Canary Islands, visited King Garagua, and continued westward, where he saw and named two islands, Caprera and Platana, Capraria and Pluitana. He arrived back in Spain in May. Watch this. The famous Arab geographer Al-Sharif al-Idrisi, 1097 to 1155, wrote in the Geography of al-Idrisi, a group of seafarers from North Africa sailed into the Sea of Darkness and Fog, aka the Atlantic Ocean, from Lisbon, Portugal, in order to discover what was in it and to what extent were its limits. They finally reached an island that had people and cultivation. On the fourth day, a translator came speaking the Arabic language. Even when Mansa Musa, the world-renowned Maliki monarch of West Africa, the Islamic Empire of Mali, was en route to where? Ma'ak, on his famous Hajj in 1324. He informed the scholars of Cairo that his brother, King Abu Khary II, had undertaken 2 expeditions into the Atlantic. When the king did not return to Timbuktu, from Babylon to Timbuktu, you know that, right? From the second voyage of 1311, Mansa Musa became ruler of the empire. And the Mandinkas used the closest land base to West Africa, Brazil, as the center for their exploration of the Americas. They traveled along rivers through the dense jungles of South America into North America. In a document written in 1754, a Spanish banderista, they call them land pirates, wrote of well laid out cities in and around Minas Gerais in the interior of Brazil, with suburb stones and mortar buildings, obelisks and statues. The jungle has reclaimed many of the Mandinka cities, but the early Spanish explorers saw a large number of them, and the Muslims left a legacy of writing among the natives of the area, especially on the Koti Island, Koaty, of Lake Tikara or Lake Titicaca, where the ideograms are identical to the Mandinka scribe. Even as far as the Pacific Ocean of South America, near Low, Mandinka Muslim writings have been found and translated. Man to pursue, worship, to mature and become matter without life. Man pursues a cavernous place, i.e. the grave. Stay with me. Anthropologists have proven that the Mandinkas, under Mansa Musa's instructions, explored many parts of North America via the Mississippi and other river systems. At Four Corners, Arizona, writings show that they even brought elephants from Africa to the area. In Panama, Central America, the Muslims had such an effect that even today, the indigenous people are classified as either Mandingas or Mandinkas of Toul. This is scholarship. When Vasco Nunez de Balboa, the Spaniard, reached Panama in 1513, he came upon who? Africans. His recorder wrote that when Balboa entered the province of Quiroa along the Estumas of Darien, he found no gold, but some black prisoners of war belonging to the king. He asked him where he had obtained them, and was told that blacks lived quite near and were constantly at war with them. These blacks were entirely like the blacks of Ghana. Ferdinand Columbus, the son of Christopher Columbus, wrote about the blacks seen by his father in Honduras, the people who live farther east of Point Calvinas, as far as Cape Gracias Dios, are almost black in color. Some Muslims in Honduras called themselves Al-Mayas, Al-Imam, or Imam. Other groups of blacks were reported in Honduras, perhaps by Columbus, near the Nicaraguan border, and near Tegucigalpa, and known as Jaras and Guabas. These ancient clan and territorial designation titles are still used in Africa today. A Khary scholar explained in the Daily Clarion of Belize, November 5th, 1946, when Christopher Columbus discovered the West Indies about the year 1493, he found there a race with woolly hair, whom he called Caribs, C-A-R-I-B-S. They were seafaring hunters and tillers of the soil, peaceful and united. They hated aggression. Their religion was Mohammedanism, and their language was Arabic. Islamic practices, such as the prohibition of swine eating, are well known amongst the Caribs. Their most prized possession was the caracole, a crescent-shaped alloy framed in wood. You see? A renowned American historian and linguist, Leo Wiener of Harvard University, in his book, Africa and the Discovery of America, 1920, wrote that Columbus was well aware of the Manica presence in the New World, and that the West African Muslims have spread throughout the Caribbean, Central and South America, North America, and even into Canada, where they were trading and intermarrying with the Iroquois and the Algonquin Indians. No wonder Wiener's book is controversial. Columbus wrote of his third voyage. Inhabitants of the island of Santiago said that the southwest of the island of Hugo, H-U-E-G-O, one of Cape Verdes, was another island of people, aka Haiti, where he found black people who have the tops of their spears made of a metal which they call ganin. Mandica for gold, 32 parts, 18 were of gold, 6 parts of silver, and 8 of copper. Muslims in West Africa had known the arts of alloying gold with copper and silver for centuries. Columbus left on his voyage under the patronage of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. It's a little red book called The Wars of Ferdinand and Isabella. History. But you see these people on TikTok, and no disrespect, I love my women. I'm so tired of seeing women on the TikTok talking that stupid stuff. Like they need to sit down. It's just stupid, man. It's stupid. But he left on his first voyage under the patronage of King Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain at a time when the Muslim population was under tremendous pressure to convert to catechism of face extermination. Muslims had ruled Spain for over 700 years, dominating Europe culturally, educationally, and economically. But Spain fell to Christians that year. The colonization of the Americas by the Spanish was simply an extension of the Requisition or the Reconquest. When I talk about the dumb diverses, the papal bull, and the doctrine of discovery, write that down. Dumb diverses, remember? Dumb diverses, the papal bull, and the doctrine of discovery. Just research that. Research that and tell me what you get. We don't have no time to be playing with these people, you know? It was the reconquest of the Iberian Peninsula. The Iberian. It ain't no such thing as no Anunnaki. The Anunnaki is the Iberian. Period. The explorers were Spanish soldiers who had fought in Africa and sailed the seas to destroy Islam. Therefore, they easily recognized the Muslims in the New World. The influence of Islam on Spain was so profound that when Hernando Cortez arrived in Yucatan, Mexico in 1519, he named the area El Cairo. And the men of Cortez and Pizarro called the native temples mezquitas, Spanish for masjids. These is facts. Some Moriscos, because they call them Moriscos or Moradines. So some Moriscos were Muslims who had become Christians by force, also traveled to the Americas as soldiers, explorers, and laborers. There they returned to their true faith and succeeded in propagating Islam to the native people. As soon as this was discovered, a series of laws was decreed by Spain to stop the flow of free and enslaved Muslims to the Americas. The king wrote on July 16, 1550, I order you that under no circumstances or by any means shall you consent to the passage to our Indies, islands of Tierra Firma, of any Negro slave who may be from the Levant or who may have been brought up there, or no other Negro who may have been reared with Moriscos, even though they be of the race of Negroes of Ghana. Not only were they afraid that the Muslims would upset their heinous plans of enslaving the native people, but their presence was also seen as a threatening their efforts to converting, colonizing the population to their passive brand of Christianity. In another edict, he wrote, you are informed that in such Moors are by their nationality and origin Moors. And if they should teach Muslim doctrine or wage war against you, babe, can you close the door? Or the Indians who may have adopted the Muslim religion, you shall not make them slaves by any means whatsoever. On the contrary, you shall try to convert them or persuade them by good and legitimate means to accept our holy Catholic faith. The hypocrisy of the church and the state was clearly highlighted by the first Christians to see land in the New World. When he returned to Spain, Rodrigo de Triana embraced Islam and said, and I quote, Columbus did not give him credit, nor the king, and reward. Can you close the door, Sean? For his having seen before any other man light in the Indies. And I have the privilege to study several reliable indigenous American scholars and spiritual teachers, holy men, medicine men, that have confirmed that they had trade and social relationships with Africans long before the coming of some European, some Albion, some Tralodite, or European to the so-called New World. No disrespect. It's a medicine man, historian, Michael Red Thunder of the Rosebud Sixas, relayed several important traditions. It was during a class that he spoke, teaching on the pipe ceremony. I did this in school, that he imparted the significance of which is called the Sixas medicine wheel, which is divided into 4 equal sections. And each section represents what? The 4 basic colors of the human race: red, black, white, and yellow. And according to the teachings of the Sixas, the Great Spirit, aka God, endowed each of these peoples with a particular affinity and responsibility. Stay in the science, the so-called red man, the responsibility for the maintenance of the earth. The Sixas regarded themselves as the caretakers of Mother Earth. The so-called white man, the element of fire, inclusive of explosives and fire power. The so-called black man, the waters of earth, inclusive of the teardrop, the circulatory system in man, the rivers, streams, and the ocean. The so-called yellow man, the keepers of the ancient wisdom. And during his class, he mentioned that the Sixers had relationships and had signed treaties with African people long before the Great Flood, when the mountain ranges went from east to west. And according to the Sextus tradition, it was after the Great Flood that the mountains assumed their north-south orientation. And it is also interesting to note that according to Mr. Red Thunder, one can, with a little reflection, diagnose the social conditions of each one of these people by how well they have honored these elements, these endowments from the Creator, like physical disease, hate, misnomer black people on TikTok hating each other. And I'm from Flint, Michigan. I'm so tired of seeing these old hags disrespecting Clarissa Shields, the girl only 30. What were these old hags doing if they had social media back when we was popping? These old women right now go out to sleep with married men and they hating on a woman that's successful. That's the greatest woman of all time because she on TikTok having fun. Go sit down. And you can go on social media, TikTok right now, and all these women, 45, 50 plus, half naked. And then get mad when somebody asks you how much it costs. You on the one butt naked. You on the internet butt naked talking about you an empress, you a goddess. No, you not. You selling something. Miss me with that cap. Miss me with the cap. And it ain't no disrespect to no one. The truth has no sides. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit more. And we about this piece. I got a couple more. If y'all like the teachings, tell me. Talk to your boy. African Muslims in early America. Watch this. Islam has been a piece of America religious fabric since the first settlers arrived in America. While we don't know exactly how many African Muslims were enslaved and transported to the New World, when everybody talk about the one world Tartarians, I got the book for you. I'll give it to you for $5 and you read it for yourself. You read it for yourself because most people don't study. What they do, they run straight to TikTok. And that's some Eurocentric and some Negrocentric BS. And if you, that educational scholarship, go to academia, which most of these Negroes can't. They can't. You know? But African Muslims were caught in the middle of complicated social and legal attitudes from the very moment they landed on our eastern shores, and collections at the museum helped to prove this. I've been to all the museums. I know several people who must have been, from what I have since learned, Mohammedans, aka Muslims, thought at a time I had never heard of the religion of Muhammad. There was one man on this plantation who prayed 5 times every day, always turning his face to the east when in the performance of his devotion. Now, let's deal with it. Charles Ball, 1837. African Muslims were an integral part of creating America, from mapping its borders to fighting against the British rule. Muslims first came to North America in the 1500s as part of colonial expeditions. One of the explorers, Mustafa Zimori, also known as Estevico, was sold by who? Portugal into slavery in 1522. I got the book for you. While enslaved by Spanish conquistador Andres Dortiz de Carnaza, Estevico became one of the first Africans to set foot on the North American continent, and he explored Florida and the Gulf Coast, eventually traveling as far west as New Mexico. African Muslims also fought alongside colonists during the Revolutionary War, 1775 to 1783. Get the likes up. Everybody share this on YouTube, share this on TikTok, let this go viral. Military muster rolls, including Bampit, Muhammad, Yusuf bin Ali, also known as Joseph bin Haley, and Joseph Saba. Other men listed on muster rolls have names that are likely connected to Islamic practice, such as Salim, Por, and Peter Salim, whose names may reflect a form of the Arabic salam, meaning peace. These men often distinguish themselves on the battlefields. Oh, we're about to get good. True history. True history. The founding fathers were aware of Islam, especially when I started showing y'all Thomas Jefferson Quran. From the wars of Montezuma to the wall of Tripoli. So I don't care about no white man and all this. Man, I tell you, the only people that lie to us is our own people. Gatekeepers. I'm not no widow's son. That's why I told y'all, the white man is not my enemy. Negroes and brothers that took an oath is my enemy. Why? Because they lie and smile in your face. My European Mason, the Scottish Rite, they'll tell you that they are son of a Muslim. Black Masons, Print Hall, they call themselves a widow's son. How the hell can you be a widow's son? How? How are you a widow's son? Tell me. And they don't teach about the history of the feds. How? And the lower house is Christianity, the higher house is Islam. Why you don't tell the truth? Why you don't tell the truth? And then you got these so-called Prince Hall Masons, they Christian preachers, but the higher house is Islam. You tripping. You tripping. You just not going to tell the truth. The founding fathers were aware of Islam and the presence of Muslims in America. Thomas Jefferson, who owned a copy of the Quran, included Islam in many of his early writings and political treaties. Campaigning for religious freedom in Virginia, Jefferson argued in the proposed Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom that neither pagan nor Mohammedan, aka Muslim, nor Jew ought to be excluded from the civil rights of the Commonwealth because of his religion. But unfortunately, this language was amended before ratification to remove references to non-Christian groups. And Jefferson was not the only statesman who recognized religions other than Christianity in his work. However, their knowledge of and theoretical openness to Islam did not stop them from enslaving African Muslims. And I love all my Freemason brothers, all my Prince Hall, but Prince Hall, that's a fictitious name, no matter how nobody feel. And if Prince Hall Masonry was so good, why don't my Prince Hall Mason brothers teach openly? To be one, you must know one. It's a secret. What secret? That you took an oath not to tell the truth? What secret? What secret? All my brothers in these Greek fraternities, what secret? Because my European Masons will tell you that they a son of a Muslim. Every black Mason, Prince Hall Mason I meet, they talk about they some stupid ass widow son. No disrespect. And how are you a widow son? How? It's a book called, the title of the book is called The Life of Muhammad, 1805 by Edward Gibbon. All my European scholars know about all this stuff. Everything I talk about is on their Masonic tables. So why don't my Prince Hall Mason brothers that be from chapters and all that stuff, why don't they tell the truth? Why don't they tell the truth? Because I've been knowing Mason brother, my dad was part of it. He had to leave it. I'm my dad's sheep. Why don't we tell the truth? If Masonry is so good for misnomer black people, why don't the Mason brothers teach openly? Why don't you teach openly? What's so secret? Ain't a goddamn thing secret with that crap. Yeah, they lie. They a lie and ain't no truth in them. Real talk, Brother Bey, real talk. I done been through all the Masonic houses, and why the Prince Hall Masons stop at 32 degrees. In reality, that's when water freezes. That's snowman wisdom. Jesus died at 33. That ain't no damn wisdom. They lying to y'all. That's snowman wisdom. I'm 33 times 3. Ancient rite of Memphis and Mizraim, and we wear our fez. Tell the truth. Even with the Eastern stars, tell the truth. And your pentagram is turned sideways, and you got 2 horns up, and you under the DAR, which is the Daughters of American Revolution, and you push that marriage license bull crap. Tell the truth, but they won't. They'll sit and play a stupid game. Nope, but hopefully if I have one of my European Masons, I've been talking to him, but he like, you doing an amazing job. He was my professor. He was like, why they need me? And you telling the truth. You look like them. They should listen to you than me. And I'm their teacher. And I share it with you. Go on my YouTube channel or go on YouTube and pull up Celebrate Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday. I shared it, and the European Mason, Scottish Rite Mason, on there lecturing about it. And he's using the book Arabian Nights with the European, with the fez on it. Like, how you Negroes don't know about Noble Drew Ali? And it was passed out to the Nation of Islam. The Negro, aka the Blackamoor, and the Nation of Islam know this stuff. It's cap. It's cap. And that's why I said, only people that's gonna lie to you is a Negro. And I don't rock with Negroes. I don't care what you put in front of your name. I don't care. You a liar. And ain't no truth in you. Why? Because you took an oath not to tell the truth. That's why. And it can easily be destroyed. Richard Henry Lee, letter to James Madison, 1784. Despite significant obstacles, enslaved Muslims used their faith and bilingual literacy to build community, resist slavery, and pursue freedom. They left numerous written accounts of their experiences in America in the form of letters, diaries, autobiographies, most of them in Arabic, and they strategically used Arabic to communicate with one another and to undermine slavery. Belali, Muhammad, and Salah Belali were known to be intimate friends. Omar ibn Said and Laimi Keeb wrote letters to one another, and Yabu Suleiman DeLeo sent an Arabic letter to his father in Africa. They also wrote pages of Arabic from their slaveholders and their friends, but instead of writing what the recipients believed was a Bible verse or the Lord's Prayer, they wrote Quranic verses that condemned slavery, made genealogical lists, and even pleaded to return home to Africa. Indeed, I wish to be seen again in our land called Africa, in a place of the sea called Gambia, Omar Ibn Siyad. And these two documents incorrectly labeled the 23rd Psalm and the Lord's Prayer provide insight into the methods of resistance used by enslaved Muslims. And I got it all. It's courtesy of the State Archives of North Carolina. When I go back to Washington, D.C., I'm going to take you to the Masonic House. That's why I be saying, only people that be lying to us is our brothers and sisters. That's what Khary G. Woodson said. Khary G. Woodson said the miseducation of the Negro is our Negro preachers, our Negro teachers, and our Negro gatekeepers that then took an oath to not to tell you the truth. That's what Stephen Coakley was telling y'all, the Greek is a fraud, and he was lecturing about the boule. I'm transparent. My uncle, Michael Finney, used to work for the mayor in Michigan. His name was, I forget the mayor name. And my uncle Michael was a boule. How I know? Because I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. They got to reveal themselves to me because I got their charter. My uncle worked for Snyder, my mama brother, and I call their asses out because they know who I am. I don't hold no punches. I don't care if it's family or not. Point blank. And my uncle died mysteriously with all love and truth and peace and freedom. My uncle died mysteriously. Point blank. Just like all the rest of them gonna die mysteriously. Point blank. And the wealth don't get transferred to your damn kids. Muslims also use literacy to leverage their freedom through their labor. Slave owners exploited Muslims' ability to read and write. But we can read today. That's why all these gatekeepers, oh, I'm a Freemason, I'm from this lodge. Okay, tell the truth, shame the devil. They ain't gonna say nothing. They can't teach freely. Why? Because they took an oath. They took an oath not to tell you the truth. They call themselves some Greek gods. You ain't no damn Greek god. Steve Coakley told you the Greek is a fraud and the boule. Watch it. This old, as well as the professional backgrounds. So enslaved Muslims use jobs such as bookkeepers, personal servants, coachmen to gain physical mobility, learn American business practices, and access information, normally only shared with white society. Remember, Yarrow Mammal of Georgetown, Washington, D.C. was one such example, right? Mammoth, enslaved by the Beale family, was known as a jack of all trades. Remember the story, the jack of all trades, but a master of none. But this the rest, but oftentimes better than a master of what? One. He made charcoal, worked on the ship Maryland, weaved baskets, and made bricks. He was able to earn his own money from these endeavors the same way I do. Even though I went to academia, even though I'm a licensed behavioral health therapist, even though I teach elementary, I went to academia and learned all these skills so I can make my own way. And I felt my people should support it. You know? He was able to earn his own money from these endeavors. You know? Brick making and all that. You know, making agreement with Bell's wife eventually led to his manumission in April 1807. And after 44 years of being enslaved, Mahmoud became an entrepreneur, a bank investor and homeowner in Georgia, in Georgetown, where he would walk the streets singing the praise of Allah. Yarrow owns a house and lots and is known by most of the inhabitants of Georgetown. He professes to be a Mohammedan Muslim and is often seen as and heard in the streets singing praise to God. Charles Wilson Peale. Look, I don't know what these people talking about. I know brothers, they ain't researching. That's why the European is laughing, the Alban is laughing, the Church is laughing, because these niggas, I'm a Freemason, or I'm a Hebrew Israelite, I'm a Moor, I'm a Muslim. Dude, it's only one science. And if you got a good teacher, then he gonna teach right, regardless of what you think. That's why I teach this in real life. This right here is a real portrait of Yarrow Mammoth. Right here, you looking at it. I got the book. What are we talking about? You can also go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Purchased with the gifts by exchange of R. Wistar Harvey and Miss T. Charlton Henry. They got it. Muslims also experience open hostility and hardship when practicing their faith. Ayuba Suleiman Diallo was pelted with dirt by a white boy in Kent Island, Maryland, as he prayed. Others were forced to wear sacrilegious clothes, ignore dietary rules and religious fasting, or abstain from the required prayer. An unnamed Moorish slave in Louisiana confirmed this hardship in 1822 when he lamented that his situation as a slave in America prevents him from obeying the dictates of his religion. Nevertheless, they preserved and lived their faith. Many became pseudo-converts to Christianity called Taqiya, T-A-Q-I-Y-A-H, to protect themselves and their families, and they had to hide their true beliefs. Lami Kibi pretended to convert to Christianity to secure passages back to Africa through the American Colonization Society. However, after returning to Africa, Kibi disappeared into Sierra Leone, surely still retaining his Mohammedan creed. Others like Ayuba Suleiman Diallo refused to budge in their faith and were rewarded for it, just like me. His faith impressed his slave owner so much that he was freed and provided passage back to Africa, receiving a royal welcome in England on the way. Here go, I'm gonna show you a picture of Omar Ibn Said, courtesy of the State Archives of North Carolina. If you're in North Carolina, it's in the State Archives. What these people talking about, man? What these people talking about? I have no idea. They lying. They lying. And that's what our brothers and sisters do. Especially, no disrespect, especially most of the Masonic brothers and most of the Greek fraternity Negroes I met, they'll lie to you in your face. They'll lie to you in your face. The Islam brought to America by enslaved Africans did not survive long, but it left traces that are still visible today. And the practice of ring shout, a form of religious dance in which men and women rotate counterclockwise. You know, when they say like the Sufis do it, all our stuff directly inherited. When you see the European Jews, and they swirl the chicken, that's African. So they might as well sit down. They talk about rituals. It's all African. I'm tired of these lying gatekeepers, and I'm tired of the lying gatekeeper women, y'all Eastern Stars, and I'm tired of the Freemasons that'll get on here and just try to confuse people. You're gonna sit on your hands because I get the European, that's your archon, and he'll tell you to shut up. Because I'm their teacher, and you know I'm telling you the truth. You know it. You don't have to like me, but I don't care. Interviews of formerly enslaved people collected by the Works Progress Administration in the 1930s contain resemblances of rice cakes called saraka, S-A-R-A-K-A, which were handed out during rituals and feast days from the Arabic word sarah, or free will offerings. This charity is an aspect of zakat, one of the 5 pillars of Islam. An early blues singer, like those recorded by the singers Alan Lomax and Levy Camp Holler, employed singing style reminiscent of the Adhan, or the call of prayer. You know the call of prayer. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Allah, you know the call of prayer, but it can go on and on. I don't got time to do all that, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Enslaved Muslims were brought to the United States with distinct cultural and religious benefits. We succeeded in forming networks and communities. We maintained religious identity despite overwhelming odds, the same way we do today. Bilali and his wife, Phoebe, prayed on the bead. They was very popular about that time. They pray. They very regular about the hour. And when the sun come up, when it's straight overhead, and when it's set, that's the time they pray. They bow to the sun and have a little mat to kneel on. You know, you see where the Muslim get it from. They salat, but I deal with the al salat. I'm connected to God. I stand up and arise, but you can get on your knees. You can do whatever you want to. I'm not Orthodox. I'm God. And God knows that was the time for the slave to go out and do that. That's my time for rest. All I deal with the al salat, but you can do whatever the hell you want to. I'm God. The beads is on a long string. Bilali, he pulls beads and he says, Balambi, Hakbara, Muhammadu. Phoebe, she says, Amen, Amen. I'm going to show you some of the wooden prayer beads owned by Suleiman el-Hadi in the late 20th century. Gift of Gaddafi el-Hadi in memory of Suleiman el-Hadi. And a lot of these I was gifted. A lot of these I was gifted that I have. My beads that I have on is gifted, handmade. I got a gift of a Tibetan little man head that one of my empresses gave me. She had her own metaphysical shop when I used to live in Tucson. And she just asked me to come bless her shop. And then I used to get all my kufis and stuff from this African lady from Ghana. I used to get all my apparel from her until I created my own. And I still use it for allies. I give people sources to find all this. All the books and peer review, I give you sources. So I'm gonna give y'all one more. I'm gonna give y'all, I might got two more. I don't know. I don't even know what this is. Oh, we on good time. We on great time. Historical facts concerning many established information on diverse fields continue to be unraveling to the astonishment of us all. So one, you got to understand, did the companions of the prophet go to America? But research conducted in the West during the 20th century has proven the existence of Muslims on the American mainland approximately 7 centuries before Columbus. Archaeological excavations, linguistic and philological analysis of language, settlement names in the region, and the fact that coins, household tools, and other utensils were discovered. There were similar to those of the Abbas or the Abbasids in the 8th and 9th century, are all justification of the theory that Muslims began from 650 CE, made their way to the continent for settlement, during which time they erected mosques, schools, leaving a prolonged impact on the Native Americans, aka Indians. The Islamic sources carry no information as regards Muslim settlements in America, although research undertaken by Professor Barry Fell of Harvard University confirmed that Muslims reached the continent at the time of Othman, the third caliph, concomitantly indicating the significant possibility that some of the companions could have arrived there as well. Many Western researchers acknowledge the famous map of Piri Reis as proof of Muslim presence in America long before the endeavors of some Christopher Columbus, as it minutely comprises the map of America, as well as the extremely accurate measurements of the distance between America and Africa. This is what our kids need: scholarship. They don't need that fake stuff. Because watch, all our people are African slaves, we out of Africa. That's cap. It's cap. Straight up cap. All of it's cap. Just like I tell our black people, misnumbered black people, they say, oh, Christmas is this, Christmas is that. Okay, Christmas is this, but Kwanzaa fake as hell too. Kwanzaa fake as hell too. It ain't nothing historical about Kwanzaa. If you think Kwanzaa historical, you a fool. You might as well celebrate Christmas. You might as well celebrate Christmas if your goofy ass celebrating Kwanzaa. Because Kwanzaa was started by a COINTELPRO named Ron Karenga. And if you were empress, what'd he do? He tortured our empresses. He tortured women. Ron Karenga. And that's what black people, oh, we celebrate Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. Man, go sit down. Anybody start off with some happy Kwanzaa? I know you a fool. You traded a white lie for a black lie. And then my empress said, we said Kwanzaa. But then you talk about you don't like to be abused and all this. Well, Ron Karenga abused your empresses. And you celebrate some stupid ass Kwanzaa from a COINTELPRO. Yeah, now what? Can't say nothing, can you? Nope, can't say nothing. Because like my dad said, we were born ignorant, but we don't have to stay stupid as hell. These is facts. Research what I'm telling you. Research what I'm telling you. Research what I'm telling you. You put all that negative stuff on, you think you're doing something, and you ain't doing poo diddly. According to Salvador Michael Trento, former director of the Center for Archaeological Research in Middletown, New York, before embarking on his first voyage to America, Columbus had read the book, listen to me, of Roger Bacon of Oxford, I got them all, of Oxford University, which comprised information compiled from a variety of Arabic resources about the geographical regions of the other side of the Atlantic. Hence, Columbus' previous knowledge of the islands in the Atlantic Ocean and other places. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Proof in Western sources. Professor Barry Fell, retired lecturer from Harvard University, and also a member of the American Academy of Science and Arts, the Royal Society, the Epigraph Society, and the Society of Scientific and Archaeological Discoveries, in an adamant about the arrival of Islam in America in the 650s, predicating this argument upon the Kufic Caliphate. It's like a belong to the era found in various diggings across America. And if the words of Professor Barry Fell have truth value, then the Muslims had arrived in America during the era of what? Uthman, U-T-H-A-M-A-N, or at least that of Ali, the fourth caliph. Such information, however, is not found in no Muslim sources because they're gonna lie to you. Not me, I had it all for you. Every piece, the shut them religious, pale Arabs down and them Negroes down. We sitting them all down. All the religious dogma, all the pro-black, I don't have time for you. I ain't even gonna entertain that crap because I know you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Professor Barry Fell again used the results of various archaeological diggings undertaken across many regions in the states of Colorado, New Mexico, Indiana to assert the construction of Muslim schools during 700 and 800 CE. Writings, drawings, charts inscribed on rocks discovered in most remote and untamed terrains of Western America are relics bestowed by the elementary and the intermediate system of Muslim education at that time. And these documents were written in the old Kufic letters of North African Arabic, covering subjects such as reading, writing, arithmetic, religion, history, geography, mathematics, astronomy, navigation. Just like when I did with Credo Matua, and they said, well, you just a shaman, you just a medicine man, that you can go to any area with your people and resurrect the whole damn town. Yes. The descendants of these settlers are thought to be the current native tribe of the Iroquois, the Algonquin, the Anazi, the Hokan, and the Olmec. The second evidence offered by Professor Fell is that the inscriptions of "in the name of God," picture 1, found on a rock during archaeological work in Nevada, and I showed y'all on the Negro is the Negro is the Indian, the Blackamoor. I showed y'all this, and the Nation of Islam had this stuff. They'll lie to you. Belonging to the 7th century, when the Haraka sign system had not been developed. Likewise, the stone bearing the inscription, "Muhammad is the prophet of God," is permanent to the same era, as seen by comparison of the two pictures. And I'll show y'all when I gotta go to my library, my storage, and get the document. I'm gonna show y'all. Let me write it down so I won't forget. And I give it to everybody for free. All I be asking for small donations. I'll give you everything. But you're going to pay for it. Why? When you go to Amazon, because that's what we do. We don't want to make our brother rich and help me build my school. What we'll do, we'll help Europeans and get our literature and look stupid. And they charge thousands of dollars for the literature. Negroes crazy. Negroes crazy. And I'm saying it. Negroes is crazy. I got books, $1,000, $900, $2,000 that I converted to ebooks that you can download on your tablet. And we don't get them, and all the Europeans get them because they study us to a T. But I come on here and do this for love. I'm almost done doing this. I'm almost done. And the Arabs, according to the findings of Professor Fell, settled in Nevada during the 7th and 8th centuries. Yeah. The early existence of a school which is taught in Islam and science, particularly navigation, has come to light following the archaeological investigation undertaken by Professor Heiser and Bofhoff of California University around Site WA-25 in Nevada. Just like when I tell you research Bertram Thomas, his book, The Arab. Research Vladimir Model. And he was a Russian, a German, his definition of what an ancient ARAP is. And then see who lying to you. Not me. The excavations in Nevada. Nevada what? Las Vegas. Have uncovered writings in Coptic, Arabic, and Kufic style that are inscribed on rocks which carry information about the school. The application of the mathematical formula, 5 diamonds equal an alif. Alif is the first letter of the Arabic alphabet. May be seen in the picture. The Arabic letters, and I'm going to show y'all, in the picture found amid excavations in Nevada are in exactly the same style as North African Arabic. Again, similar, another rock was found in Nevada bearing the name God, the style of which is yet again reminiscent of the prevalent technique of 7th and 8th century North Africa, and the calligraphical similarities between various writing styles of the prophet's name over diverse periods, particularly those relating to Africa and America, found during archaeological investigations, are striking indeed. Its figures that were found in Al Ain, Lagod, Morocco, East Walker River, both are currently at the University of California, was discovered in Nevada, and figures were located in Churchill County and are also currently preserved at the University of California. It was other figures discovered in Al Hajj, Minyan, Morocco. Inscribed on ceramic was revealed in Al Suq, Tripoli, Libya. At the University of California was discovered at Cottonwood Canyon, while finally figure I was located on the border of Morocco and Libya. All these inscriptions belong to the 8th and 9th centuries, clearly illustrating the resemblance in style between North America and North Africa, as well as overly suggesting a migration that occurred from Africa to America. Man, I ain't even got time to go all through this because it's just too much. Christopher Columbus has recorded the customs of nose piercing. Everybody like, why you got your nose pierced? Because that's a culture which used to be and still popular in the Middle East and Arab countries as being prevalent in some islands across the Atlantic. Also mentions the writing of letters in Arabic. In the account of 16th century missionaries in America, the local copper mines found particularly in Virginia, Tennessee, Wisconsin were not operated by the natives, but instead by people from the Middle East. Ain't no such thing as Middle East, towards whom the natives nurtured a profound system. I can go on and on. House building. The research undertaken by Professor Cyrus Thomas of the Smithsonian Institution shows that a small cabin built from piles of rocks found in Ellenville, New York, is virtually the same as the cabin, again of rock, found around Quaba, South Arabia, both of which are thought to have been built around the start of the 18th century. I'm telling you, Bertram Thomas got a book about that as well. And the last Muslim stronghold in Spain, Granada, fell just before the Spanish Inquisition was established in 1492. Remember, Dum Diversas, Doctrine of Discovery, Papal Bull. Research the Spanish Inquisition as well. It was established in 1492. Non-Christians were forced to either convert to cataclysm to save themselves from the tyranny of Inquisition or were exiled from the country. Documents exist which prove existence of the immigration Muslims in Spanish America before 1550. 1539, an edict from Spanish King Charles IV was put into practice which forbade the immigration of Muslims to settlements in the West, Papal Bull. The edict was later expanded to expel all Muslims from overseas Spanish colonies in 1543. The existence of Muslims in overseas islands and regions was known along with the fact that the Spanish king issued such an edict. Again, in many Islamic sources, it is noted that Muslims living in Spain and North Africa made overseas voyages during the Andalusia period. Scientific research on this subject will bring out many documents into the daylight, documents which have escaped to notice of both Muslims in America and those throughout the world. So I'm gonna give you, in academia, do you have any references? Do you have the scholarly? Yes. Trento Salvador Michael, The Search for Lost America on page 15. You can find that in Penguin Books, New York, 1987. But I got them all. You can burn them all up and I can talk about them. You can burn them all up and I can talk about them. So I don't know who everybody on here, whoever that, Ricky 18, we gonna block him out. He laughing my ass off. But I told you, we ain't gonna deal with trolls that just come on here and just say anything. We don't got time for that. We ain't doing that. We ain't dealing with nobody, no trolls. that just come on here for no reason. We gonna block them. What my boy said, write his name down, I will. And send it to him, I will. 1880 NY. I will. Gratitude. Gratitude. Barry Fell, Saga Americas, page 190. So, teacher John Boyd, Christopher Columbus, page 380, 1950. Columbus Ferdinand, The Life of Admiral Christopher Columbus, page 232, from Rutgers University, 1959. Obregon Mauricio, The Columbus Papers, The Barcelona Letter of 1493, The Landfall Controversy and the Indian Guides, Macmillan Company, New York, 1991. Weiner D. Leo, African and the Discovery of America, Volume 2, page 365 to 366. That's Dr. Leo Weiner. So we ain't here for nobody to get on here and troll, because I don't care. And I've done this in academia, so I can care less of anybody getting on here playing. We're going to block them. We're going to block all that because we're not here. It's too many grown people that's trolls that tell you about the aptitude of these grown people. And if you grown, call the confusion, it tells you something about you. Go on your own platform and teach. I tell people this all day, but it comes with the territory. So I hope y'all learned something today. Like I said, I offer expensive books. I have a library with over 1 million books and documents. I shared expensive books with y'all yesterday for purchase, and only a couple of college students that I know at GCU got these expensive books. You know? I'm gonna share this one expensive book with y'all one more time that people have been talking about on TikTok, and I shared the cost of the book. It's called The Fruits of the Moon Tree. On Amazon, the book is $668, and it's unavailable. I have these books for y'all. I study these books. I lecture them. I showed y'all the Book of Knowledge, the Keys to Enoch, these ancient books. I show y'all all these books. I share them with y'all. They know this. Every European Mason know exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone. I have these books. That's why they make them expensive on Amazon. That's why they make them expensive. Criminalizing Their Race Theory by McIntyre. All these books that I share with y'all that cost money on Amazon, I convert them to ebooks and I share them with people, and I have every single one, and I lecture every one. Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. The book is $600 on Amazon. Not no ancient blacks. These are the Russian icons with all the plates. Saint Maurice, all that. When you start looking at that, you will know. And when I take you to the Netherlands, and when I take you to museums in Europe, you're gonna see they got all this stuff in their museums. The Templars and all that, you're gonna see the Moorish heads and all that with the crosses and everything. They know. That's why they get on social media and try to cause confusion. Melanin, the Chemical Key to Black Greatness. Why the book is $1,000 on Amazon. I got all these books for y'all, converted to ebooks. Why are they $1,000 on Amazon? I have them. Why? That's why I be telling people we lost due to a lack of knowledge, because we refuse to learn. We refuse to learn. The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War, a new look at the slavery issue. Why Amazon got the book for a stack. Don't nobody have these books. I got them all, hard copy. And I convert them to ebooks so you can download on your tablet. Why the book $1,000 on Amazon? Why? Why do you think it's $1,000 on Amazon? And that's just a small tittle. Because they know it's wisdom in there. And we making Jeff Bezos rich. I have all these books. You don't have to spend that much money on. I have every book that I quoted, I have them all. Because they make them expensive. They make them expensive because they know it's research in there, and they know the average Negro is not going to spend $1,000 on a book. They'll spend $1,000 on a stupid ass belt or a girl's trip or some Zaza, and then get on the internet and argue with a scholar and a teacher that invest in this, that teach this, that make a living off this as a scholar and an educator. And that's just a small tittle of what I have in my library. I can go way deeper and destroy all of it because I've done this in academia already. I've done oral lectures. It's only one science, it's only one truth. I don't care if you know black Freemason or no white Freemason. That's what I be telling people when they come on my page, Europeans with that troll stuff. Well, all I do is get one of my European colleagues that's part of the Philosophical Research Society like me that's a Scottish Rite Mason, and they gonna say, man, tell them crackers to sit down. That's what my Europeans, Masons colleagues will tell you, because they are sons of Muslims, and I love them all. All y'all gotta do is go on my page and see my European Mason colleague brother, a Scottish Rite Mason, giving credit to Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday, and then we'll let it alone. We have to stop this, man. And that's what I'll be telling my brothers and sisters. We have to stop this hate. Because I don't hate nobody. The Creator created everything. The red bird, the blue bird, the black bird. But it behooves me when Europeans, Albions, Tralodikes, and Negroes get on here and just open their mouth. And we're not allowing it. We writing your name down. We blocking you for life. Point blank. And that's how we roll. I'm good. Where you finna go? And that's just true. Do anybody want to leave anything? Do anybody want to... Oh, I said I'll find this book before I leave. I'm glad. This is the book right here that the Nation of Islam know they had. Let me see, can I find it? And it ain't a whole book. It's like a little document, and it's packed with wisdom. It's packed with wisdom. It's right here. It's called The Real Indian, the Negro, aka the Blackamoor. And you see that inscription that they found in Vegas? You see that inscription on there? It talked about the Jesuits, everything in here. It breaks everything down. So that's the ancient Kufic script. And it was employed from the Arabic language before the modern Arabic came into general use. This example dates from approximately 700 AD and occurs in Nevada, United States of America, where it was mistaken for a meridian markings of about 1000 BC. But it is actually a religious text, and it reads Nabi, Allah, Muhammad. Allah's prophet is Muhammad. It was probably cut into the rock as part of the permanent school lessons of the Muslim settlers of the Southwest, and samples of the word from Saga. Remember I told y'all by Barry Fell, the origin of the Kufic, or of the angular style of Arabic script, is traced back to about 100 years before the foundation of Kufa. To which town it owes its name because of its development. Yeah. S.M. Imanduyan, the Arabic Writing and the Arabic Libraries, 1983, Taha Publishings. In London, they know it. They know it. And I'm not going to stay all into this, but the Negroes as the original Indians, proved by the Jesuit letters. The Jesuit letters, they tell you all this. I got the documents in the Jesuit letters. So if anybody come on here with the cap, that's a troll. We got pictures and everything. We got the Dutch artist, Jan Verslet, painted the paintings of the so-called Mohawk chief who visited London in 1710. Here go the painting, and the painting were housed in Kensington Palace, Kensington, which is an area in Philadelphia, named after the palace, held the original name, Shaka Mexum, meaning the black spiritual priest of God, Shakam, some Israel, Phoenicians. The center picture is the chief of the Creek Confederacy, Tomochichi, and members of his nation in England, 1736, having intercourse with James Oglethorpe, then proprietor of the colony of Georgia. And here you go the picture. Look at the brothers on there. That's why I told y'all, man. Don't let nobody subjugate you with nothing, and don't let nobody come on your pages trolling you. It's only a fool. And they hide their faces and throw rocks. But I'm bringing the same energy that you bring to me, I'm going to bring it right back. I'm going to bring it right back to you. The Ephograph Society, they know it. I'm going to bring it right back to the hateful people. Because most of my scholars, most of my allies were Europeans that I met on college campuses. Scottish Rite Masons. They were like, no, you got to have your own charter. So don't come to me telling me that stuff. The Nanacoke Moors, the Lenape people. You can research this. William Penn was an eyewitness account of the Lenape Nanacoke Moors. And you can find the source come from William Penn to the Committee of the Free Society of Traders in 1683. No, I don't want none, babe. I'm good. I already smashed.
What you eat?
Leftover. Salmon. And veggies. But Chief Tommen the Blackamoor, chief of Turtle Island, Shaka Mexum, in Philadelphia. I can show y'all all this, but I don't have time, you know? And the Nation of Islam had this. It's so much information in here, packed with information to destroy everything. Just like when I talk about George Washington and when the so-called chopping down the cherry tree, that was the Judiciary Act of 1789, First United States Bank, 1791, the debt system. And Washington is dressed like the young Moor on the horse. That's who Washington dressed like, the young Moor on the horse. It's just what it is. I have all these books. Yeah, they do. That's why I be laughing when Europeans get on my page with that dumb shit. Excuse my candor. And I'm like, dude, I ain't racist. Ain't no hate in my blood. But you playing a stupid game because you a pale person and you butthurt and you on my page. Like, stop the cap. And if you graduated from academia and if you're a Freemason, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Most Europeans are Scottish Rite anyway. So stop the cap, man. That's all I've been telling people. Stop the cap. Because most of them, they're Anglo-Saxons. They'll tell you that they're Anglo-Saxons. You can get the Anglo-Saxon dictionary and you will see what white mean. It ain't no disrespect. My European colleagues on campus lecture this. They'll tell you that they Anglo-Saxons. That's what Revelation 2 and 9 and Revelation 3 and 9 is. They don't want to admit it, but European Albion Trade-like professors will tell you. He was like, what do you think Revelation 2 and 9 and 3 and 9 is talking about? Me, Anglo-Saxon. Not me, but he talked about himself. This is truth, and truth has no sides. So I can rest my case, and it's no rebuttal. I have no rebuttal. That's what I'm here to do. And if anybody wants pieces of literature, I have it for you. So no one can get you caught up with a religious dogma, because I don't care about your religion. I can care less. I'm not Orthodox. But I don't care if you're a black Mason or a white Mason, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you playing a game. Especially if you're a European Mason. I ain't gonna put all that knowledge on the black Masons, because I know they don't know nothing. They be in there playing, drinking liquor, because they got a liquor well in a Masonic house. I know they don't know nothing. But my European Masons, y'all know damn better to come on my page playing that dumb shit. Like you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Because you are a son of a Muslim. You ain't no widow son like these stupid black Masons. Oh, I'm a widow son. Every European Mason, male or woman, they know that they are a son of a Muslim. Point blank. Tell me I'm lying. I have them speak clearly. And everybody know it. So I don't know why Europeans are getting on my page playing a game. I mean Anglo-Saxons. Why? Why would we do that? Why? Why? Why do they do that? And then they say, well, you got a degree and I'm a Mason. Okay, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about because you deal with scholarship, don't you? Yes, stop playing. And you know you a son of Muslim, don't you? You know you a son of a Muslim. You are a son of a Muslim. You ain't no widow son. You know that. I know that. So now what? Who's the joke on? All I got to do is pull up Celebrate Noble Drew Ali. Matter of fact, if you, I'm going to find it for you. I ain't even going to send you to my YouTube channel. I'll just send you to where it's at on YouTube. But it's on my YouTube channel. Let me find it for you. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Let's see, can I find it? Bam! And it went to my page. Oh, no, it didn't. Yeah, it did. Nah, it put up my page, but I ain't gonna share my page. See, this is my page when I'm sharing it on my page. On my YouTube channel. I got it on there, but I'm gonna go right to the real. I'll just play a little bit of it before I leave. And you can tell me who been lying to you. And let me pause it. This is the book that he gonna reference in the film. Watch this. And I have all this for you. That's why I be laughing at these pale people like, stop, man. Just stop the cap. Here go the book that he referencing in here. It's right here. It's called How the Arabian Nights Inspired the American Dream, 1790-1935. And you see, he got Islam on his fez. You see, he got Islam on his fez. That's why I be telling these people, stop playing with me, man. Now, watch this. I'll give a little bit and look at his, let me blow it up. Let me see. I'm just gonna play a little bit of it. Come on, internet, and we out of here. When people be playing the game. Oh, let me turn it up.
I want to mention today to discuss a man who's quite interesting. His life was very
It's a European Scottish Rite Mason.
impact on various religious movements in America. His birth name was Timothy Drew. He was born on January the 8th, 1886, reportedly near Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And
Hold on one second.
he took the name of Noble Drew Ali. He founded the Moorish Science Temple, the first predominantly African-American Islamic organization in America. Here's one picture of him. And another picture. These were all done during the 1920s. The Moorish Science Temple Divine Constitution and Bylaws contains another picture of the prophet, as they call him. Pictures of some conventions.
So I want to stop right there because I gotta end this. I got some work I need to get done before late night. But if you want to look it up on YouTube, it's called Remembering Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday. It's called Remembering Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday. So I hope everybody heard what I said. I hope everybody do their own research and let that spookism, let it go. Let it go. But the last piece of wisdom I want to show y'all is this last one I forgot to show y'all. I showed people this yesterday. But it's so many European writers that wrote about our prophet, from Spencer Dew. Spencer Dew wrote a book called, watch this. Watch this. I'm going to see if I can pull up Spencer Dew book. And then I'll show you the other book. Let me see. And he's a European Christian lecturer, professor. Here you go. Here goes his book. During COVID, I was going to lecture out of class, but COVID hit. Here you go, right here by Spencer Dew. It's called The Aliyhites. European wrote about this. Spencer Dew, The Aliyhites. He was like, well, I'm not a professional on this, but I did the history. Do you want to come and lecture on this? COVID hit, I didn't get a chance to do it. But like I said, I got some other stuff that's popping off right now. I did a whole video recording, and I still get paid for a lot of stuff because they use it for teachings. But let me show y'all the other book with our prophet on it. And it's by Peter Lambert Wilson, Sacred Drift of Islam. You see our prophet on the cover of that? You see our prophet on there? The Europeans ain't dissing our prophet. Those only gatekeepers that do that. They know about our prophet. They know who our prophet is. And the last one I'm gonna show y'all, watch this. And I'm gonna read the highlight of what the book is about, and I'm out of here. And then you gotta ask yourself a question, why is Noble Drew Ali on the cover of this book called Spondu Mystery with all these U.S. generals on here? Why Noble Drew Ali on the cover of this book, Spondu Mystery, with all these U.S. generals on here? You ain't never asked yourself? Nope, because you let people, what? Gatekeep your wisdom. Now let me give you a little tittle of this background of this book. Directed by Tibetan elders, the Germans sought to harness the Vril. Y'all know what the Vril is? Okay, if y'all ever seen, what's my man, Elon Musk? And I have to go on my stuff because I got a whole bunch of ancient little trinkets and things. But Elon Musk, he got this, I call it a trinket, and he got it on his desk. But it's an ancient, I'll show you, I'll teach you a little bit later. That's why when I go places, they already know who I am. But I'll talk about that at a whole nother date. But to harness the Vril, an energy so powerful that it can change the very nature of the elements themselves. Is it the heart machine? We'll talk about that later. Because the God man knows it's going to rain, snow, the energies, the ethers. All that. Come on, Noble. Come on, you with me? To succeed, however, a major change was required in the evolutionary development of the human species. A dramatic scenario of events unfolded, however, which not only ensured that this endeavor was sabotaged, but included an undertaking designed to prevent humanity from ever discovering its ancient heritage and the secrets of the VRIL, the VRIL. It was against this backdrop that the two of the most colorful characters of World War II, Rudolf Hess and George S. Patton, became immersed in an age-old battle involving the legions of light and darkness. That's why when I talk about, I'll show you that at the end. The Templars, the end of the World War II predicted more intrigue and struggle for power than the war itself. Much of this centered around the secret project sponsored by Rudolf Hess, which included not only the Antarctic project, but the construction of the VRIL flying saucer. Patton's job, as the war came to close, was to recover the secret technology of the Germans and safeguard it for American use. After accomplishing his mission and compiling a German history of the war, General Patton was killed in a dubious accident, the mystery of which has never been solved and has been magnified by the government refusal to declassify the file on the investigation of his death. Far more conspicuous and powerful than Patton was Rudolf Hess, the deputy Führer of Germany, who flew to England in 1941 as an envoy of peace and was imprisoned for life and suspiciously killed just before his imminent release. The current of intrigue and power which permitted these two individuals and led to their downfall was the same current which led to the reparations of the U.S. government and the undermining of the constitutional government that is run by and for the people. Besides technology, much of this intrigue centered around the banking files the Nazis confiscated from the Freemasons. The effort to keep this secret is still a factor in today's politics. It was thus that Patton and Hess wore different uniforms but shared common interests and held with their grasp a force so powerful that if harnessed, it might raise the ancient civilization of Atlantis itself. It was for the power that both were killed, and so began our mystery. Just like when I show y'all this book right here. That's what I'm going to show y'all another book before I get out of here. And I'm going to show y'all this. Because we must show. Let's see. Let's see if I got, oh, yep, I got it in my file. Here it goes. Atlantis of latter days. Atlantis of latter days. And the European Masons, they think this high. It ain't nothing but the Osiris mysteries. That's all it is. It's nothing but the Osiris mysteries. See, the pale European, Albion, Trinidad, even the Negro Masons play that game. But my European Mason scholars will tell you that it's all the Osiris mysteries. It's all Egyptian science. Point blank. If they come with the cap, I'm going to go even deeper with it. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. And so we talk about, let's see, do I got this saved in my file? Let's see, do I got this saved? Of these certain type of individuals. Let's see, do I have it? Yep. The Knight Templars and the Assassins. You got the Templar, actually it's a book called The Templars and the Assassins. Research that history, I got it. I broke it down, it's called The Templars and the Assassins. So I'm gonna stop right there. I told y'all, man, truth has no sides. Truth has no sides. And I'm going to continue to teach regardless if it fill a room or clear it out. But I'm not going to allow no Negro, no European, no Albion, no Trinidad to come on my page playing. You can do all that on your own page, on your own platform. Don't come on my page being no troll because I'm going to block you and I'm going to have my IT guy reach you up to tell you to go on with that bullying because we don't play that. If you're not here to learn, get your grown, stupid, retarded self off my page. And I mean it because this is not for you. Because you're going to continue to lie and spread hate. And I'm here to resurrect my brothers and sisters and deal with the ones that want truth. Why? Because truth has no sides. And I'm not apologizing for it. I'm not apologizing for being a scholar and full with the Holy Spirit. I'm not. I said if I get paid in real life to lecture at colleges, I come on here. And once we build our arts and crafts, and our library and our wellness center for our youth, it's all good. You know? It's all good. So we ain't gonna worry about no trouble. We gonna keep them where they at. I love y'all. Thank you for taking time out your day. Anything you need, you know how to get with me. You know how to hit me up. And we just beginning. Remember I told y'all, Bertrand Thomas, he wrote a book called The Arab. He wrote a whole bunch of other books. So I'll give them to you for you can read and study for yourself. So we can sit this game down. We can sit it down. All this internet fake stuff, it's not scholarship. And it's only one history. It's only one science. And my people are lost due to what? A lack of knowledge of self. Because we refuse to learn. Hosea 4:6. It's nothing new under the sun. I love y'all. Thank you for listening to me. Support. All right, there you go. Hey, Bay. Yep, he just shared it. There you go. How Brother Bay knew what I was talking about?
Oh, I know about it. There's a little bell that go with it too. Yep.
Hey, Brother Bay, they can sit down. It's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing that nobody gonna have that a scholar, that a person that's real is gonna share with you. And we just getting started, because I'm in elementary wisdom. I haven't even dealt with the Orisha and the Santeria. I haven't dealt with my Oligua. I haven't even dealt with none of that yet. I haven't even dealt with none of that yet to magnify things, to show you about our magic. I haven't even touched the surface of that, because a lot of that stuff is not for the internet. It's for people that come to our temple and school. It's for people that support us. That's what it's about, and want to see us build our temple just like anybody else done. Just like anybody else done. And I'm challenging my brothers and sisters to share this, support this, help us build our physical temple again, because it's gonna happen in my city of Flint, Michigan, and we're gonna have a small temple out here. And we have 10 acres already in Kingsman, Arizona. Y'all can look it up. Me and my muftis, we purchased 10 acres of land. We purchased 10 acres of land in Kingsman, Arizona. And brothers and sisters can be a part of this development. So once again, thank y'all, man. I love you. Support us on YouTube. Support us. Hit me up. Anything you need, man, I'm here for you. I'm your brother. I love y'all. Peace, light, and illumination. And happy solar return to our prophet, Noble Drew Ali. We celebrated January 8th through the 13th. I love y'all, man. Peace, light, and illumination. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.